Now we're looking at the Marvel section of my hardcover comic shelf. I have a lot more Marvel Masterworks down here than I have DC Archive editions up there. I wish that I had some uniformity among dust jackets, but sadly that's not the case. So, Captain America. It says volume 14, but it's volume 1 of Captain America. I really want to get volume 2 as a hardcover as well, but it is a bit pricey at the moment. I can get it in softcover for cheap, and I have a whole lot of Captain America in essential editions that I'm working my way through, but it'd be nice just to have volume 2 sitting next to it in hardcover. Doctor Strange, volume 1. Very, very sexy book. I will open it up and show you the insides of it sometime. Fantastic Four, volume 1, even though it says volume 2. Then volume 2, which says volume 6. Volume 3, I will actually pull this for a second. I let my dad decorate the dust jacket of that for me out of an old Essentials. Took Essentials volume 2, chopped it up, and made me that dust jacket. I might decorate that spine at some point, though. So yeah, Fantastic Four volume 1, volume 2, volume 3, volume 4, volume 6 and 7, and Human Torch volume 1. Iron Man 77, which I think is actually Iron Man volume 4. It's the one that has Invincible Iron Man number 1 inside of it. Marvel Masterworks volume 145, which is actually volume 4 of Sergeant Fury. Man, that's a good comic. I love it in the essentials, but the coloring is irritating as all hell. It's been very hard to read in Masterworks. I do want to buy the next Masterworks, but I am holding off until I actually finish reading that one that's on my shelf now, and it has taken a while to get through. You can see a piece of paper marking where I left it off. The ugliest of the spines on all of these is the one for the Thor collection. I think that's Thor volume 3. It does not say. And next to that, X-Men volume 1, which says volume 3. Like I said, no uniformity of spines here. And excuse the noise of my butt sliding along the floor. I'm sitting cross-legged and scooting myself along as I film this. Let's try and get this one in focus. You can read X-Men just fine, but you can't quite read the name of the one next to it. It's Silver Surfer, folks. Let's see. No, it does not want to show up nice. Let's look at that, though. This is the nice John Buscema, Stan Lee Silver Surfer graphic novel. Have I flipped through it? Oh, yes, it's gorgeous. Have I read it? Not yet. Spider-Man Spirits of the Earth by Charles Vess. Great book. Read it a few times. It sucks because when I met Charles Vess, I didn't have that. He only signed Books of Magic for me. But I said that I didn't like how he drew Aunt May in that, or rather that it didn't work for me as a kid the way he drew Aunt May in that, and he inferred that I meant that I didn't like how he drew Aunt May, which was kind of sad because he seemed like a nice dude. Here's some more Charles Vess, his Warriors 3 book. The Wolverine Trade, 2 hardcover volumes of Captain Britain. A little bit easier to read the spines on those two. I just got those at Emerald City Comic Con this year. I am looking forward to reading them, as I am looking forward to actually reading Sentinel of Liberty, which I think I got at Magus Books for a steal. The Steve Ditko book. I've read pretty much everything in there. I want to say this cost $25. I did buy it new. I was like, well, for what you get, it's worth it. The first volume of the Mark Waid, Mike Warengo Fantastic Four. Very good stuff. Runaways, Volume 1 and 2 and 3. Very good stuff. Got all those at Spine and Crown. Wolverine Old Man Logan also came from Spine and Crown. That X-Force by Peter Milligan hardcover was purchased at Third Place Books. Even though I have all of the issues that are inside of it, it's just a gorgeous book. I have the 2 volumes of Joss Whedon's Astonishing X-Men. Marvel 1985. As you can see in this shot, there are 2 books by Mark Millar on the shelf. A lot of people don't like Mark Millar, but if you pick and choose like I do, you can find some good stuff. If Andy Leyland of the Fantastic Cast ever watches this video, I hate to have him see that I do own both editions of the Miller Hitch Fantastic Four, which I don't hate on the same level that he does. There's a lot worse Fantastic Four than this. It leads into some good Fantastic Four comics. The Runaways by Joss Whedon. Defenders by Geffen, DeMatteis, and McGuire. The first Peter David X Factor volume from when he did the reboot of it. Not the initial reboot, but the 2000s reboot. And I keep seeing these for cheap, and but I have not seen volume 2 anywhere for cheap, so I haven't bought the rest of the series, nor have I read that particular volume. I only have 2 Marvel omnibuses, Untold Tales of Spider-Man and New X-Men. Love both of those. I used to have every issue of Untold Tales of Spider-Man, and I loaned them to my friend Matt. If you're watching, yes, I am talking about you. You lost them, and now I have the omnibus. X-Men Season 1. Recommended heavily by Jay Edited on Jay and Miles Explain the X-Men. I was not that impressed. Like, I'm holding on to it. I may read it again, but it did not do it for me. Omega the Unknown. I've started it and put it down several times. I have the collection of the original comics, Omega the Unknown Classics, which I've actually read more of than this. I used to be the world's biggest John Lethem fan, who's the guy that wrote this. But for whatever reason, after Girl in Landscape, I have not been able to get into any of his books. I've tried Motherless Brooklyn. I've tried Fortress of Solitude. I should love Fortress of Solitude, but I cannot get into that. Sorry, that was my roommate belching in the background. You probably heard on this recording. Here are all of the hardcover Stephen King's Dark Tower graphic novels that were put out. Sorry, I keep saying graphic novel. I should say comics, but I said graphic novel. It's a good series. It's not great, but I like Dark Tower enough to hold on to all those. Now, these Scotty Young, Eric Shanauer Oz books are fucking kick-ass. This is no longer a G-rated video, kids. So good. And to transition to Dark Horse, I have Marvel Conan that was then reprinted by Dark Horse. It's from the Barry Windsor Smith collection, but it has been recolored, and I find that slightly irritating. So the awesome Brian Talbot Granville series. Love this comic. It is about a badger, an anthropomorphic badger in a world where humans are not the dominant mammal. Razzle by Jeff Smith. Great stuff. And Saga, which I got for my birthday this year with a gift certificate from a friend of mine. I like it, but it is hard to pick up again once I've put it down. So I think you can see there is a bookmark in there. I will get back into it, but it's just taken me a while. Anyway, that is that section of the bookshelf. Hope you enjoyed.